Hi everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day and I hope you had a really great Mother's Day weekend and lots of great flower sales. Today I'm going to be using some tulips that were left over from Mother's Day to create some May Day bouquets. And I'm really excited because I always want to do May Day bouquets, but Mother's Day week and even the week previous to that leading up to Mother's Day is always just so busy harvesting tulips, getting them ready for Mother's Day orders. But this year I happen to have one full bucket of tulips left over, and so I thought, why not just use those tulips, and then we're just going to go around my neighborhood and just kind of drop them off on neighbors' doorsteps. I thought that would be fun and a great way to utilize some of these leftover tulips. But before we get started, let me show you some absolutely gorgeous things blooming in the garden right now, and also some not so gorgeous things that happened due to 2 days of straight rain and really cold temperatures. So check out these awesome late double tulips on both sides of the main flower walk here. I mixed up the bulbs of Black Hero, which is this gorgeous dark burgundy tulip here, and also Blue Spectacle, which of course is actually purple. But I love the look of these side by side. I wonder if they would contemplate putting these in a collection together, but I really do like the mix of those two colors together. Also, I still have that second wave of exotic emperor blooming. Do you guys have little pockets in your garden that just make you extra happy? This area here is one of my favorite areas in the whole garden right now because we have those beautiful double tulips, we have catmint. I also have a white bleeding heart in here. Let me show you that. Isn't that beautiful? And maybe we'll even use some of that in our May Day bouquets. We have the fountain, and wait until those pinball wizard alliums start to bloom. There's also some really gorgeous shrubs in bloom right now. Here we have the always gorgeous snowball viburnum. Lots of other bleeding heart in bloom at the moment, and actually one of the May Day bouquets is going to go to my old neighbor who gave me this bleeding heart. Now let's head on back to the hydrangea room and I'll show you what I got for Mother's Day this year. I hope you got something really special. Also, I see our first anemone has opened. So we had some people over last night to talk football, so you'll see kind of the chairs all over the place this morning. But my husband got me this new bird bath that we turned into a fountain for Mother's Day. So we've always wanted lion statues ever since we were first married at our old house, but we just never really lived at a house that seemed like a good fit for lion statues. But he was able to find me this beautiful lion bird bath. And then we just stuck a nice little solar fountain in there. And it's not sunny over here yet, so it's not going too strong. But look at these beautiful Del Nasha daffodils still in bloom. What is this, May 12th? And we still have daffodils in bloom. So what happened in regards to the weather is that the Friday and Saturday right before Mother's Day, it rained non-stop. It basically started raining. I think it even started raining Thursday night, and it didn't stop raining until at some point on really early Sunday. I think it was like 4 a.m. Sunday, it stopped raining. And it was also really, really cold that whole time. So I had some late tulips that were just not far along enough to pull them. And I think what happened to a few of my really late tulips, Avaron specifically, is that it got splashing all over the petals. Some of the blooms just kind of molded right there on the plants. So actually it was a complete loss for me in terms of the Avaron tulips. So let me show you that. But basically almost all my Avaron tulips did this deep down in the petals. So a little bit of a bummer on that tulip, but luckily most of my other tulips have been harvested already, or I have one black parrot which is still just barely colored up, so that'll probably be the final tulip that I harvest. It's super bright today, so I'm guessing probably by this evening it will be ready for harvest. But what did bloom on Mother's Day is our very first cool flower, the bachelor's buttons. So we have a couple of blue boy that are open. Spider there, and look at this beautiful one. And look how much the larkspur has grown since we last visited it, and it's even starting to put on its blooms. These snapdragons are really starting to stretch, and I'm so excited about all the snapdragons. Wait till you see the snapdragon cuttings. About 50% of the snapdragon cuttings are starting to put on bloom stalks. My raised bed of anemones are hopefully going to be in bloom by the end of next week. They're just kind of starting to put up blooms at the moment. And at least in my experience, the first blooms of anemone are always short, and then they kind of get longer from there on in. This bed here has my third succession of sunflowers, and I also started my fourth succession of sunflowers yesterday. That fourth succession is double quick, and these are Sunflower Steve's gorgeous flowers, and I have something really special in mind as what I hope will be kind of a thank you gift to him. But I want to show you what I'm calling the $5 garden, and I think this is the garden that I'm most excited about this year. So behind me might look like a very basic garden, but this is how every single garden here started, because when we moved in, there was no gardens. There was trees on the east side of our house, but even here on the west side, most of the trees we put in. And this is how I started every single garden that you see here, completely just using seed, filling in with the money that I had at the time. And I really wanted to do this again because I want to start to develop the area back here, but also growing a garden that's basically 100% from seed is just so much fun. This is a full-on cutting garden. So the back row has cherry rose sunflowers, then we have a bank of foxglove, and then all in the front here is just zinnias. So I do have some hydrangeas in there, but I'm hoping that we can all pretend like the hydrangeas aren't there. I'm gonna cut all those and sell them. But just imagine the space just with those 3 seeds. So for less than $5, you can develop a garden that's, I would say, 20 feet by 10 feet. And wait till the end of June. This garden is gonna be absolutely gorgeous and filled with butterflies, especially back here. So I hope you don't mind me getting so excited about a simple garden like that. But you know, no matter how many new trees or shrubs or perennials I put into this garden, it's still something about growing everything from seed on a really small budget that just makes me genuinely happy. I don't really know what it is. I guess it doesn't really make any sense and I can't explain it, but I feel like when a garden is grown completely from seed, it's kind of this really, really emotional and connected experience to the land. I don't know. Is that silly? Does anyone else feel like that? Well, let me show you the driveway garden real quick, and we better start on these May Day bouquets. So we have the Queen of Night tulip blooming over here in the driveway garden, and I was trying to do just one color of tulip over in this garden. I really am trying to go for a park feel over here. I know last year somebody said maybe I should rename this garden because I always just call it the driveway garden. I'm not really sure what else to call it, but it does have a park feel, so I don't know, maybe we should rename it something else. But nevertheless, I have some Black Hero tulips in here as well. And this is just a great tulip, you guys. And think, it went through that cold and rain and wind, and it's really just been unaffected. So a winner in my book. All right, well, I think enough looking around. I could spend all day looking around out here, but let's make some bouquets together. The varieties I have left over are this one called Charming Beauty. Some websites say this is a single, but mine all were multi-headed. It is beautiful, but honestly, I don't think I'll grow it again because I like others better. This one is really fabulous. It's called Antoinette. I like Antoinette. It has a nice multi-head. It's very late, yellow with pink streaking there, but the stem itself is quite thin, so I'm not sure if I'll grow it again. And then this one here is a really beautiful white and green tulip called Green Spirit. Really nice strong stem, really, really nice strong neck. Definitely will grow this one again next year. So I should have about 100 tulips left over, and I have 6 jars. So I think I'll start with 12 stems per jar and see how that lands. So I'd really appreciate your thoughts and opinions on something. This year, I'm still gonna be selling at my farm stand, but what I've decided to do, because I have talked about, I think somewhat, theft that I've had in the past, is that my really high value crops, things like peonies and ranunculus, I've started to work with a new event florist that I'm gonna be selling the majority of those flowers to. So this year is going to be kind of different because what's going to go to my farm stand is basically annuals grown from seed. So we'll do lots of sunflower bouquets, zinnia bouquets, things like that. But you know, honestly, it was just too much theft for my higher end flowers last year. But what's been really interesting over the years in terms of theft is that I feel like the person, or people rather, that take the flowers, they really know flowers, because it seems like when I put the really expensive stuff out there, that's when like the whole stand will just be taken. I mean, sometimes people will take one and then I think they might just come back later and pay for it, or they underpay. That really doesn't bother me too much. But to steal the whole stand when it's like all ranunculus or even just all specialty snapdragons, just to be honest with you, just can't afford it anymore. So I'm excited to get back into selling to a florist. I really only stopped selling to a florist when I saw how much traffic we really got at this property. And I do live in an Amish community where farm stands are just a normal part of life. You know, most of my Amish neighbors sell something in front of their house, whether it be vegetables, eggs, fruit, flowers, berries, what have you. Farm stands are just really normal around here. You know, I could do most of my grocery shopping come July right on our road. So we'll just see how this works out. And, you know, I can always go back to selling the higher end flowers at the roadside stand. I can maybe explore a CSA or something. But I'm just gonna try it this year, see how it goes, and I'll take you along for the journey. So are these flowers cheering you guys up just looking at them? They're definitely cheering me up to be able to work with their beautiful blooms this morning. I tell you what, the most wonderful thing happened this morning. I went out really early, about 6 o'clock, to get my daughter some sour gummy worms because it's her best friend's birthday, and I guess she loves sour gummy worms. And when I came home, I saw the first hummingbird of the season. And you know what's so crazy, guys, is I have really bad eyesight, but it looked to me like a black and red hummingbird. So I did some Googling, and that doesn't really seem like we have a hummingbird that looks like that here in southern Pennsylvania. But it really did look black with a red streak to me, and it was super small, almost like a baby. So any hummingbird experts out there, let me know if you know the type that I might have seen this morning. And you know what, guys? I think we're gonna have just enough. This is gonna be wonderful. Well, that really worked out great, and there's just something extra cheerful about yellow flowers, isn't there? Definitely gives me some Doris Day vibes, but I suppose everything can give me Doris Day vibes. Anyway, let's go on a little floral field trip and deliver these to my friends and neighbors. So I'm not really sure how to do this. I looked up in one of my magazines where they talked about May Day bouquets, and it said that you just put them on the doorstep and then you ring the doorbell and run. But that seems a little bit strange to me, so I think I'm gonna ring the doorbell and then say hi to my neighbors too. Well, that was just so much fun. I don't know how much I was able to capture there on the GoPro, but oh my goodness, look at this squirrel right here. Can you see him underneath the alliums there? I don't know if you can see him or not. If you need any squirrels, I can send you some for free. But I'll tell you what was so awesome is that I was driving to my neighbor's house and I received a text from one of my friends that I used to work with, and they wanted to buy as many tulips as I had left. I guess it's their wife's, I think it's her 60th birthday, and they really want to go over the top with flowers. So I'm gonna pick the entire driveway garden for them this evening and then deliver those tomorrow. So that's just great, right? I mean, everything always works out at the end of the day. So I want to wish you guys a great day out in your gardens. I'll see you sometime soon, probably for maybe a mid-May garden tour. Maybe I'll shoot that right before I go ahead and pull all those tulips. Bye.